Well, my name is Mat Brady. I'm a property manager with Multnomah County. I think a lot of things that I bring from the Army as far as communication skills, as far as documentation, as far as scheduling, really help me a lot as a property manager. In the Army, they teach leaders, especially as they start to go farther up, to build tools. And one of the tools that you build is called a smart book, which you carry with you everywhere. So this was kind of my smart book. And I kind of made this book here off the county website of each building and its picture, and the description of them, and the floors and the folks who are in them, including the Wapato square footage. That's 608,375 square feet. When I got out of high school, I kind of bounced around. I did some construction work with my father. There wasn't a lot of opportunity. I'd gone to college for a year at OIT, and I realized I wasn't mature enough to go to college. And so I kind of thought maybe I wanted to be a police officer. And I thought, you know, where are you going to get better training than being a military policeman? Then I enlisted while my parents were actually on vacation. I was babysitting their house. So 10 days after I turned 21, I went to Fort McClellan, Alabama for basic training. I was stationed at 552nd MP Company in Busan, Korea. At the end of my 24-month enlistment, the state of Oregon had 3 investigator slots and didn't have any trained investigators. And I came to the National Guard. At the age of 30, I decided that I would like to become an officer. And so I enrolled in officer candidate school. As a citizen soldier, it's not the one weekend a month. Quite often it's trying to figure out how to fit it all in and be a good father. Probably the best thing that ever happened in my life, and my proudest moment, is when each of my 3 children were born. I have a daughter and a son and a daughter. A lot of times I thought about being done. Thought about, you know, that I'm tired. That was a lot. You know, you'd leave on a Friday and sometimes not get back till a Monday or Tuesday and just be exhausted. You didn't sleep much or whatever, but we were called up to Operation Enduring Freedom. We went in behind the first forces. So right as they were declaring cease of hostilities, which I think took about 30 hours, we were coming right into Iraq and then on through Baghdad, and we ended up going to Balad Air Base. They didn't have a place for us to go, so we parked our vehicles pretty close to the perimeter, and then we secured our vehicles and we slept right near them. And that night we could see tracers coming over the top of the vehicles because we were still engaged outside the perimeter. We had security forces out there, and they were still engaging Iraqis out there, so you could see our color tracers and the Iraqi-Russian tracers, and it was pretty interesting first night. One of the first things I did for everybody, because not only am I an engineer officer who commands carpenters, but I'm a journeyman carpenter, is we had taken in some water jugs and put nozzles and valves on them, is I built a shower for everybody. I ended up kind of being the unit carpenter, and so I would work on mission projects during the day. I set up a carpentry shop. I would do soldier projects in the evening, because a lot of people didn't even have cots. So I would build a bookshelf, and a soldier would be able to have a bookshelf to put up the pictures of his loved ones and maybe an alarm clock. Or I designed a bed system so that the bed, in essence, was a locker and tilted up. When the commanding general gave his first speech at Balad, I built a podium that he did out of lumber that we went into Baghdad and brought back, mahogany plywood from Argentina. And I was there for about 3 months. Then I got hurt in a non-combat accident. I was at Madigan Army Hospital for about 14 months. They did a lot of physical therapy. They operated on my knee, had been injured. They operated on my knee twice in large operations and then a minor one. I was in a wheelchair for a while, almost a year. When I got released, I was unfit for military service, and my unit and their commander were very gracious and allowed me to do duties that I could do within my profile so that I could do my 20. Even though I'm disabled now, I was still allowed to become a 20-year veteran, which I'm very proud of. It's called an unloader brace that I wear, and it goes from underneath my heel all the way up to the top of my thigh. Some things I may have to ask somebody to help me with now that I used to be able to do myself, or I just do them differently. Sometimes they take a little longer, sometimes. Most people don't notice, and I don't wear a sign. So, even in the peacetime Army and service, people get hurt. So in the time that I was in the Army, not even counting the time in Iraq, I saw 9 people that lost their lives in training or training accidents, or I was around, or I investigated as an investigator. And so I think about those people. Even in the peacetime service, they gave the greatest sacrifice. And so I always take a little bit of time to think about them. You know, a lot of times, several of us will get together. And we think about all the things we've done. We also think about honoring others. We make sure that we put a very large flag up so that everybody understands that this country is important. No matter what, if I'm out of the country or whatever, I call my parents, I call my family. I want to tell everybody it's a great day.